Mr. Wilhelm, how are you?
I'm good.
Good, you look good.
Thank you. Looks a lot better than the last time I seen it. That's it.
All right.
Get the doctor, give the release. All right.
Richard?
How's everybody doing?
Good, and you?
Good. Yeah.
Couldn't think of last week when we were here. Hey, how you been? Good, how are you? Oh, yeah, it's been a while.
It's close enough, Mark, it's on you.
All right. I'd like to open the meeting. We don't do the pledge.
No, we could.
No.
Okay.
You got any additions to the agenda?
I do.
What do you got?
I got, number 7, I would put on here, if you guys would look at the storage container that we got put up, just, we approved it, we bought it, it's just,
Okay.
John and Jerry did a really nice job putting it up out there, so if you got a chance, take a look at it. And number 8, we got a culvert to replace, I'd like to talk about that.
Okay.
And number 9 would be Lions Park, just mention the, what we're doing there. And number 10, the Shabbona Pathway Grant, I want to talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
Other than that, that's all I got.
Okay. Like the approval of the agenda?
Needs to come from Mark Stanley, Jeff Jeffco, and Tim Carey, members of the committee.
Make a motion to approve.
Second that.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
We got anybody from the public wants to speak?
Is that me?
I got you down as the first thing under business.
Okay, so I'll wait.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Review and approval of 9/10/2025 infrastructure committee minutes. Anybody get a chance to look at them?
And in looking at the minutes, if you don't mind, I would tell you, at our last meeting, I made a terrible mistake by appointing somebody to the committee without. So that's been rectified, and I won't do that again, I'm sorry. So if we don't have enough people to fill out the committee meeting, we'll just,
Adjourn.
yeah, there we go. I shouldn't have done that, and I've taken full responsibility for it. I did it.
I accept your apology, Frank.
Well, thank you.
Okay, I guess I'm looking for
Motion.
motion to approve.
So moved.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Heard 3 ayes, we can move on.
Alright. So 6A, DeKalb County Community Foundation Grant, Shade Structures, Building Shabbona Together.
Eric Shear is here to talk to us about the shade structure, tell us what it's doing, or maybe even an update on building Shabbona Together,
Yeah,
what's going on,
I was
so.
gonna kind of give a background. It's Eric Shear, president of Building Shabbona Together, which is a non-for-profit. Originally, when Purdy's donated the lot to the village, they had an ad hoc committee that kind of made some plans. They got a lot of people from the community to give their input as far as what they wanted done there. When that committee, I guess, dissolved, then Building Shabbona Together was kind of formed around the same time. And the whole idea behind the non-for-profit was to raise funds so that it wouldn't be taxed to the village, the people of the village, correct? So we formed that and then kind of took what they had and kind of ran with it as far as the design and what they wanted as far as a band shell. We say band shell, but it really isn't. It's a pavilion. It's more like a multi-use. So you can have family gatherings or really anything in the community. If the library has an event and they want to use it, it's just a shade structure that it's a multi-use type thing. The other thing that the Purdy family requested was they'd mentioned a pickleball court because that's been the popular sport lately. So we kind of made the design or whatever and then applied for the OSLAT grant. So we did get accepted last year, I think it was December, and then when we filed all the paperwork, we were approved for that, but we have until, I believe it's March of 2027 to come up with the funds for that. Part of that design was a shade structure. So we applied for a grant through the DeKalb County Foundation, we received that, and that goes towards that OSLAT grant. So it's $20,000, but we have to use that up by December, right? I think it's.
Yes,
So,
Is that the 20,000 we're holding in the
correct.
checking account
Yeah.
for them?
It was actually a money village received from DeKalb County Community Foundation, following an economic development study they did.
yep, so we got that fund secured, but we gotta use them essentially. So.
December?
Yes. We have to purchase the shade structure.
Oh, okay.
We don't have to have it installed, we have to have it purchased. So, I think, did you pass out the quotes for them?
The part-
So we've got,
I added them to the packets that are
Okay.
laid out for.
so there's a quote here for 2 different sizes, and did you have the pictures too to get that? There should be a copy of,
Second page.
yeah,
what
kind of
everybody has.
the overall Purdy plan, and then the shade structure that we kind of chose.
You guys need one?
I'll put one.
Thank you.
If you guys wanna see this too.
Yeah, I've seen it.
There's the, thank you, that plan. So we got a couple quotes, we were discussing the different sizes, so we got a quote for a 20 by 20, which is 400 square feet. At Lions Park, they have a shade structure there, it's 16 by 22, I believe, so that kind of gives you an idea of the size of what we're looking at. So the quote came in at $13,470. That's not installed, but I think we could have volunteers to install it, I'm hoping. So that obviously is less than the 20,000, and then that would give us some room to buy either picnic tables or, I don't know if we're gonna do concrete or something underneath it. And can we buy the concrete?
No,
We
you
can't
gotta
buy it
physically have material in hand.
in hand there.
And
Okay.
from a engineering perspective, bags of concrete probably wouldn't meet
Yeah.
the standard.
No. So we could do picnic tables or something else, I guess, to come up close to the 20,000. We don't have to spend all 20,000, but obviously the more I mean, it's there to use, so. Any
Okay.
questions on that?
So were you looking at the 20 by 20 or 20 by 20, or 25 by 25?
So the 20 by 20 is what I mean, we could do the 25 by 25. I mean, it's pretty big. I went out there today and looked at, I measured between the two birch trees, because kind of where it would go is on that corner.
How much is the 25 by 25?
It's 15,670.
Yeah, might as well go big.
We could do that. I mean, we got the money there. We could just do that.
My opinion is go with the bigger one.
That'll fit in the area that you want.
Yep. Design, but like, it'd be kind of, so,
You're in that corner.
yeah. So this is north here.
Yeah.
Here's the railroad tracks, so it'd be right in here. There's two birch trees there. It'd be like right in between those essentially.
So is this an easement?
No, I'm not sure what that line represents. This is the property line, the fire department owns this, that was
Yeah.
donated to them. So it would be well within, you know,
Be my suggestion to you, if you got the money, I'd go with the 25 by 25.
Do you know what size that one is?
that
By
one,
chance?
I don't, I think it was, do you remember the quote that,
The initial
Yeah.
quote was for 40 by 40,
and I think that's what that
which
is.
Okay.
is huge.
Yeah,
That
I think that's what
doesn't
that
even-
one
That
is.
doesn't even look.
Yeah, that doesn't sound
Yeah.
40 by 40 is nice.
unless that's a truly.
So yeah, so those are the two quotes. I mean, I think they have to vote on it, right, next meeting to,
It would be up to this committee to, consensus to take it to the regular board meeting on October 16th.
okay,
This committee doesn't vote per se.
gotcha,
No.
gotcha, okay.
We just compile things to present to the board.
Yep, and the biggest thing that I see with, you know, not only it's there, we got the funds to buy it, but it also goes towards our match for the bigger grant. So it's really, when you look at 20,000, it's 40,000 essentially. It's,
So, at the same time, have you gotten any quotes or any thought to slab to put this on?
no, that's what we were talking about, but we're kind of running out of time, so I don't know if we can still do that. I mean, the Lions Park, they had, what, a quote for 5,400 for the concrete there?
400 to remove and replace.
And that's, you know, it's 352 square feet for that, so I would say 6,000 to do a slab there. And that could be done, I mean, could we do that this year? I don't know.
Absolutely,
Like, so,
absolutely.
Building Shabbona together would just have to have the funds for it.
Would it be part of this shade structure, part of the grant?
It could be part of the 20,000.
Right, and then we cover the additional. So if we went with,
So the 15.6, do you know off of quotes, the company we deal with the Village, Frank, what he charges for square foot?
I don't know
For
square
concrete.
foot wise, Eric was right, it was $5,400 for the pavilion in Purdy Park, or in,
Lions Park.
Yeah,
So I guess maybe give him a shout and see what, you'd have the dimensions, 25 by 25.
right, who's that?
Kramer Construction.
Kramer?
Yeah.
I'll do that for you, Eric, I'll get
Okay,
a hold of him.
oh, Tyler.
Because if you got, you already know what you're looking at for your shade
yep,
structure. So if he does whatever carryover, if you want, for runoff, so it's just not dripping in the mud. Go 2 or 3 feet wider each direction to see if,
mhm,
and then when you center it on it.
yep,
And maybe that would lead towards doing the 20 by 20 instead of the 20 by 20.
And that could be too.
To get it within
Right.
the-
Yes,
that's what I was kinda getting at. If we did the concrete, we could do,
absolutely.
you know.
Now you present it to the board
Yeah,
saying that you're gonna look into concrete,
yeah, or,
I'll get a
Or
price.
Frank will.
Yeah, I'll get a price.
and then we'll see
Let
where
Eric
you're at
know,
as far
yeah.
as the grant.
yep, that'd be great.
Okay.
I would ask Eric, and I know nothing about these shade structures, and apparently Tim does, but what's the maintenance on them? Do you have to take the top off of them
Yeah,
in
so.
winter time, or?
Right, so part of that quote was, They've got, or they call it rapid release peak 4 column, so it's a easy hook on hook for winter time, take off the canopy essentially and store the canopy. But really that's the only maintenance I know. It's got a 20-year, on the steel it's got a 20-year warranty, and then on the shade canopy, whatever you call it, it's got a 10 years. It's free replacement for the first 6. After that they start prorating it down, so. It's got a long, and then 3-year parts warranty, which I don't know if that's the quick connects with it. I mean, it's pretty much 4 posts and,
Yeah.
you know, there's not much to it essentially.
Because West Chicago has one similar to that, and then they have a hard structure one.
So, go ahead.
Excuse me, the one we're looking at here, which I assume is canvas or hypalon or something, the top of it. There's one in where you work,
Yeah, it's through the park district.
problems with it or anything?
As far as I know, they haven't had any yet. And it's been 6 or 7 years,
At the end of its warranty then?
probably.
Frank, I guess, check with Kramer, see what he would suggest, showing him the shade structure on what he would say for hangover, for rain runoff and stuff, so we're not making a big mud pit out of this.
Does water go through those, do you know?
What's that?
Does the water go through them?
No.
It's not like,
No.
they do
That
run
I
off.
don't think it does.
Okay, so they do run off, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure exactly what the material is.
I think it'll shed water.
There's
but,
a
yeah.
pure details sheet that I gave you guys, and that shows the concrete cap slant to prevent water accumulation. So it's kind of something Tyler probably can look at and understand.
You can read
That's
it.
probably if.
Well, I blew it up into its
Oh, I
own
was
page,
gonna say, I'm like.
because you can't read it on the one with the pretty little purple pictures.
Jim, that may be if they're not
Yeah.
putting that, they may have to have them for the structure depending on the height, but that could be if they're not putting concrete floor into it.
I don't think it's a bad idea to have extra concrete though. You know. Depending on where the sun, I mean, the shade's gonna move, so.
I guess, I don't know anything about a shade structure, that Tim's here to help you. Why not a pavilion type like we've got in Lions Park?
Because the grant that we got was specific to a shade structure, so we have to stick to a shade structure there. And then if we get the rest of the money for the other grant, I mean, we're gonna have a pavilion at the other spot, so this is just part of the overall plan of Purdy Park,
And the other pavilions
part of it bigger.
bigger.
Yeah.
Well, we start making the park usable for going out to the other ones.
Yeah. For the older kids too.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna ask, is there more plans for Purdy Park, which there is? They've been drawn up by the engineer and that's what you've got is,
Yeah.
okay, is that something the members of the committee and the board can get hold of?
The drawings,
Yeah.
or that's what's in front of you there.
Right here, Frank.
That's-
Get one?
That's it for the entire park is what we got for a
Yeah,
drawing?
that's Frank.
Yep. As far as I
Right here,
know.
Frank.
Okay, that's, all right, yeah.
So there'd be additional engineering for the Oslet grant, because there's underground infrastructure that would be engineered fully for water, sewer, storm.
Do we have to do anything for the concrete? To go towards the asphalt grant?
We can't start pulling from anything to or from the Oslet grant until we're ready to spend the Oslet grant.
Right, but doesn't this go towards that?
We can report it once we're ready to
That's what I
start.
mean, but does it have to be engineered? I mean, I don't know what the.
Yeah, well, there should be some detail for it, and I
Okay,
can ask.
Okay. Just make sure that we're.
Has all that already been done?
No, not.
No,
the
not all the
engineering.
infrastructure stuff, no.
Shut up.
It was estimated, but the actual engineering drawings were not done for it yet. That would be with the Oslet grant that pays for 80% of engineering to do that.
And if
But
it's,
we have to
if
be
we
ready
pour
to
a
spend
concrete
that grant.
slab and they wanted more like engineered whatever behind it, I mean, it just wouldn't go towards the grant, it's not the end of the world,
Yes,
so.
that would be correct.
Yeah.
And is it the village that's doing the engineering, or?
The previous village board approved and a village planner slash municipal engineer did the initial stuff, and then yes, it would be an engineer. It has not been selected yet that would do the continuing engineering for the park.
So if I'm hearing this right, we have to have it engineered to fit into the OSLAD grant? We can't just go in there and.
For the underground stuff, is what I'm.
For this
what I'm hearing.
concrete pad,
Yes,
Eric's, if it could, the village could, building Shabbona together could go in, the concrete pad could be laid with the structure put up, and if it doesn't meet the guidelines for engineering, we just can't claim the 20,000 against the OSLAD grant as matching funds. It can stay up though, it would not have to come down.
So I don't know if they're that picky with it. I haven't read
If
that.
you wanna make a change to what was submitted in the OSLAD grant, it has to be submitted to the OSLAD, to Department of Natural Resources, and a committee reviews it.
Okay.
It's a pretty big deal to make
Yeah.
any changes.
Kinda
Do we
like the
report-
dirt plan.
Do we report this as we, like if we put the shade structure up, then we report that to that committee, you know?
We're not,
Not until it's
until
all
we're
done.
ready to start spending
Spending.
the OSLAD grant consistently,
Yep,
because we've got the matching funds in place
Yep.
for the grant.
right.
We don't do anything with the
Okay.
grant.
and the
So we'd be
matching funds are
spending
how
this
much?
grant separately.
What's that?
How much are the matching funds?
For the OSLAD,
Yes,
200 and, what was it?
240?
Oh, I thought they were matching
Those-
the original.
224,040.
that's, yeah, we're looking at two
Two different
different
grants.
things. We're,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
20,000 is what we have now to spend for that
Okay.
shade structure. That's it, we've got that. So all we have to do is buy it and put it up. The OSLED grant, which this was part of that drawing, part of that plan.
Mhm.
If it qualifies, we would use that 20,000 towards that $224,000 match.
Oh, wow.
The grant's the one from DeKalb County.
Yes, yep. So we want every dollar, I mean, if we can use 20,000, that's 20,000.
So it'll match the 20,000 then?
What's that?
It's gonna match the 20,000, it's not gonna go above that 200,000.
Exactly.
So what I'm hearing is, this can be done because that shade structure's already on the drawing for the Oslo grant match. So you can spend the $20,000, put a concrete slab in, put the structure up, and then submit that, and then that's matching funds, because that was already on the drawing.
Correct.
That's,
I want to clear one thing up. The concrete slab, that won't screw the OSLAD grant up?
No.
All it means is if for any reason the concrete slab that's done now doesn't meet whatever guidelines there are from DNR, for that kind of structure, then we cannot apply the $20,000 towards fund.
You think the whole 20 or just the concrete? I was thinking just the concrete.
Might be the whole thing though.
Really?
Sometimes they're all or nothing on things.
so do we have to
Kind of
call
gamble.
somebody
Yeah,
to
it's us.
get them to approve it, so it is approved before it's done?
Someone would have to pay an engineer to engineer for the concrete.
It might be, I've got all the guidelines of the grant. I could look and see what that is,
Yeah, because
I mean,
I
it's
think
kind-
concrete was already engineered,
right?
that's why they're able to put it in the ground.
I mean, if you had all the details.
Our deal is way different. When it comes to like sidewalks and that's all.
No, I get it, but
I would think that it would be already too.
I'm sure there's a minimum requirement, whether it be 4 or 5 or whatever inches
yeah.
for
Like
That's what I was
structure.
gonna say, if they
For
had
the
some
poles,
guidelines.
I mean, I know when I did my garage, the minimum was 4, and I went 5,
Yeah.
just because I could. I don't, unless there's some kind of strange DNR requirement for that, you might wanna check into that.
Yep.
And if you're able to come to the meeting when I present this to the board? That way, if you have any more input.
It's kind of a case where regardless, the 20,000 grant from DCCF, DeKalb County, can be spent for this. It would just be, we wouldn't know until the OSLED grant is opened up and we start using it, if the 20,000 would be approved to apply.
I know, but if it's a
it's-
difference between an inch of concrete and we didn't pour it thick enough and they wanted 5 inches instead of 4.
Right, we.
Because it's
I-
kind of
I
a
just
case
want Bill
where,
soon
We might as well
now.
go the higher,
and that's why I
higher
said
amount
we're
if
probably
that's
gonna
what
have
they
to have it
require.
engineered, because usually for projects that are grants like this, you have to submit the engineering drawings as part of the process for approval before you put the shovel in the ground.
I think the structure, the structure was already engineered if they're already showing you the pylons and the depth and everything else.
That's just the manufacturer.
I get it, that the manufacturer had it engineered, is what I'm getting at.
But I think you're saying though, they have to have the whole.
The whole kit and
project,
caboodle,
sounds
all the
good.
engineering would happen as phase 2, and that would go through, part of that process is the DNR approval. It's kind of like when you get an IDOT grant, the ITEP grant, all the engineering had to be approved by IDOT before you stuck a shovel in the.
Regardless, I mean, I'd
Anywhere.
still do it, and then if we don't, I mean, I'll see what I can find out, but that's, the 20,000's there now, I think you can still do it regardless, and then if you get it to go towards the OSLAD, that's a bonus, if not, it was free, essentially.
And we didn't lose anything.
Right, but I'll see what I can find out on that.
Alright. Alright, so we good on this one?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Learned a lot on that tonight.
Is this going on the agenda for the October 16th
Yes,
board
please.
meeting?
Do we have to vote on that, or do we have to vote on
Do we need to vote on that? No.
Shake your head, okay.
Yeah, I'm good. Alright, on to 6B, equipment leases.
it? Okay, well, John and Jerry are here tonight, and maybe they can help with this. I'll give you a little background. We're looking at our equipment out here, and we got two lawnmowers that are pretty well played out. We got one that is played out and one that's getting there real quick. So John and Jerry went out and they looked at 3 different brands of lawnmowers and skid steers. And they all 3 of them brought back a leasing proposal. It's my thought that we can't afford to go out and outright buy them. So we're looking at a 4-year lease to buy all 3 pieces of equipment.
Is it a lease to own or is it
It's a lease to own. At the end of the 48 months, you own $1.
oh, you own it outright, you don't, there's not a purchase, like a car where.
Yeah, a dollar.
Buy it,
No, it's
$1.
$1.
$1 to buy
Oh,
it.
good deal, yeah.
So, I think they picked out the one that they feel works best for them. And they're out here, if you got time to take a look tonight, there's a Bobcat skid steer and a Bobcat mower. And there would be, in this lease package, there would be a smaller Bobcat mower. The one that's out here is 72 inches.
Yeah.
And the other one would be 60 inches.
Okay.
And they're, I guess I don't have to talk to them for them, but they're looking at the 60-inch one for, in the parks for getting around stuff better than the 72. And,
Looks like the skid steer will be able to push the pusher box that they have been able to use. Right.
Yeah.
well,
Yes. About double the horsepower.
Okay. Good.
and,
Should be able to, or we use Bobcats at work and they push the boxes just fine.
and for anybody that that doesn't know, we didn't introduce Tim Terry. Tim's our at-large person on this committee, and Tim works at the city of West Chicago in the Public Works Department, so he has some expertise with this type of equipment.
Okay, good deal.
I was telling them, like, some of our stuff is obviously different than here. Cause I'm at, like, our plow trucks, they have sprayers on them, cause we pre-wet, beet juice, all that, but obviously it's different here. So some things are gonna be different, but for the most part, like when I pulled up, I went over that Bobcat, I know for sure will push that box. The lawnmowers, I don't really know much about the Bobcat brand. I know it's Skags have always been good ones, but they do wear out over
Comes a point
time.
in time when we get so many
Yeah,
hours on this.
and I was also gonna mention that, like, when our used equipment, when we get new equipment, we put our old equipment on the government auction sites and get rid of them, and then that money goes back into the funds towards new equipment down the road. And I think ours is 10-year replacement on vehicles, equipment, per like the year of when they were purchased. So that's something to keep in mind too, with the old skid steer, the old mower, you know. Might not get what a new one costs, but you can still put that money right back in towards replacement of other equipment in the future.
You guys wanna expound on I guess on the virtues of what you're looking at compared to what you have?
Our biggest concern is using the push box if we can, especially downtown. We get pushing snow down around the bump outs now. And being right on Route 30, we need to be able to get that snow out of the parking zones and get it down to Mohawk or over to Fulks or somewhere to pile it up. And safety is a big issue. It's trying to see that Bobcat, the old Geo Bobcat, hard to see. You can't hardly turn around and see anything. The new Bobcat will have a backup camera on it, so you'll be able to see what's behind you. Especially at dusk or at dawn, or when most of the time we're out there before dark, before light or when the sun's right there, it's really tough to see. And so safety is one of our big concerns, and getting the things cleaned out and get out of there. Because you get after 6:30 and that place is crazy. You'd have to wait till 9 o'clock then again to push snow again.
Is it John, right?
Yeah,
I agree with him. One of my primary jobs in the winter is parking lots, stalls downtown and everything, and using the push box. Granted, I got a push box on a big loader doing most of the work, but we have them for the Bobcats. We have snowplow attachment for the Bobcat that was made for like pulling snow off of the sidewalks and stuff, so it does come in very, very handy, and it is a huge safety concern. I didn't know that, like, our Bobcats don't have the backup camera in them, but I think
It's
that
not
would
only
be,
on backup, it's all,
yeah,
he can always.
I think that would be very, very smart to have in there.
that unit will fit all our equipment that's out there. We have quite a bit of good equipment. We got a snow blower that we can put on there. We have our sweeper that goes on there. Plus this one has got, it has high flow on it. So good for stuff down the road, like when we were working on the Greenwell building, we went up and we rented a rototiller, rototill that mulch or that compost that we had out from the leaf pile on that Greenwell, and it worked slick. I mean, it saved
Does that
us a
one
lot.
have the steerable?
No, it was
Okay.
just the front mount. Other than that, for future use, a lot of that stuff, if we need a stump grinder or a pavement planer, is that what he said, Jerry? If we ever needed a pavement planer or anything like that,
You can
you need high
definitely,
flow,
you can definitely get them, cause we have them all for our Bobcats.
you know, and after renting up there in DeKalb, and that's where this quote came from. They have a lot of attachments up there and not that we don't have good equipment here. I mean, we have good attachments here. They're well maintained, and grapple bucket, regular bucket. So we have, our biggest problem is that the deal isn't engineered very well. It's hard to see, it's hard to operate, and it's, that was kind of Jerry and I's understanding. We understood between ourselves that this thing isn't, isn't helping us any.
You know, if I might add, both of you guys told me that it's, the one we have now is very hard to get in and out of.
Yeah. I have a hell of a time.
Oh, I'm in. Bobcats are freaking,
I mean,
let's get in them
I can show
sideways.
and tell later if you want. But I don't have to do much telling. The thing that we tried deer, we went and looked at deer mowers and loaders. We looked at, what was the other one over in? Kubota. And they're all nice, but I've managed my whole life. And the Bobcat's just as good a machine, and I can show you the figures about half the price for all three machines. And as far as Skag goes, I like the Skag mower, but we couldn't do a municipal lease. So to me, that was out of bounds. But then you gotta go third party for loader, so. That's why, I mean, both John and I looked at each other and said, this is what we need to do, this is the right thing to do.
And financially, the skid steer is a year old. It's a snow lease machine. So it's been out in the snow. Bobcat sprays some kind of salt inhibitor on them when they lease them, so they can resell them at the end of their snow lease. So being a year old, even the discounted price is more than the Sourcewell discount on a new machine. So we actually got more. I think it's got 120 hours on it.
130. Yeah.
130 hours on the skid steer, so it's a relatively new machine. Also, when Bobcat buys them, they buy an additional 3 years on the lease or on the warranty, right? Jerry, is that what we said? So they start out with 5 years. So we have better than the new Bobcat lease, because the Bobcat lease or warranty is only 2 years. So we're actually going to get a 3-year warranty on this machine. So, I mean, like I said, we looked at Dare, we looked at Kubota. As the package, we knew it's a financial concern of everybody's, and we kind of looked at that, and that's our recommendation anyway. The Bobcat stuff is good service, good salesman we had. I mean, that's kind of where we're dipped.
You guys are happy with the machines then?
Mhm. Yeah.
Been able to use them some?
The skid steer we use today to backfill around that container. And that worked, you know, it was a trial and error thing. but
Absolutely.
It worked real well. The mower, we put about 3 or 4 hours on it, mowing. No problem with it.
And I don't have final numbers yet because the salesman from Bobcat went to Colorado on vacation. He'll get back to me next week. I think we're pretty close. The total package for the 2 mowers and the Bobcat. And I understand what you said about selling later, but we traded, I asked for trade-in values on the other pieces.
Oh,
And I think that's with the trouble we're having getting prices for the abandoned lot we wanna sell. So I thought the trade was probably better for us, and it's $64,620 for the total package. And on a 4-year lease, it looks like it's about, and don't quote me, I'll get you numbers before the meeting next week, about $1,539 a month.
And just the Bobcat alone, I think the list, don't quote me, but a little over 90,000 is the list price.
And again, it looks like the 48-month lease is 6.4%. And we'd wind up with $9,250 in finance charges over the 4 years. It's a lot of money in finance charges, but I do feel the price of the machines in those 4 years will increase that much. I think we're getting a really good buy, and I think the way prices of everything's going up, I don't think we're losing any money by financing it. And quite frankly, we can't afford to go out and buy $65,000 worth of equipment. For you guys on the finance committee, I'll get stuff to you as quick as I can, but I got looking for a way to pay for it. And we take in about $2,000 a month from the gaming tax that we get from the slot machines that are at BP and up at R&R. So we'd still be banking some money out of that if we use the gaming tax money to pay for this infrastructure equipment. And again, I'll get you guys numbers when I get them nailed down, so we know exactly what it is, but it looks like that's gonna be pretty close.
So how is it that we already have the machines? Is it a trial?
Yeah, I wanted the machines there, I wanted them to try them, I didn't wanna just,
Right.
I didn't want them just to go buy them, I wanted them to try them.
Yeah, really, Bobcat was the only one willing to bring, and he actually brought them here. We didn't have to go get them, he brought them here.
So does Bobcat actually make the lawnmowers?
Yes.
Or do they just slap their name on it?
No,
Because
they-
I've never heard of a Bobcat mower.
No,
I
they,
didn't until today.
I mean, has anybody else? I've
I'll
never
tell
heard
you
of
something
Bobcat
else that I questioned. I think it was 3 months ago, I questioned you on the pusher box sitting on the side of the building that was brand new. And I said, what's the deal with that? And Frank said that our Bobcat wouldn't handle it. And so the village already purchased a pusher box to do what we need to do uptown. But
But
They
yeah, it's
didn't have a
they wouldn't
machine.
push it.
didn't have a machine that was capable of pushing the snow for the pusher box they purchased.
Yeah, that's.
It's kinda like putting the cart before the horse.
I think maybe John or Jerry can kind of expound on that, but I think the idea was to push that box with our backhoe loader.
No, that was.
Well, originally, before the new downtown, Buddy was using it to pull snow off the sidewalk down to the lower level and push it out into the street.
Okay, that makes more sense than, instead of
You know,
trying to
cause
do
it's
it.
got, this pusher box actually has another, rubber, bar.
Yeah,
You flip it all the way over, you can drag that
Yeah.
stuff off, then you can flip it back and push with it.
Okay,
So it's not just a pusher box, you can actually reach up,
You can backtrack.
scrape and backtrack. So you know, you can get right up next to things.
That is kinda nice.
And
We have to do it with the rubber on the bottom for pushing, you gotta scrape too, but we also have a machine that's designed for our sidewalks.
How is it now that it's two-tiered uptown?
We have to blow the top sidewalks off. We bought a new snowboard last year for all the stuff up on top. We can't, there's just too much stuff to work around. Benches, light poles, garbage cans, etc.
So I guess if you guys think it's a good deal, we vote to take it to the board and see what then.
I don't see anything, but here's the deal, everybody knows we haven't had major snows, but everybody knows when it comes time, we gotta have it.
We're gonna get some.
Saying.
So I heard the Bobcat has a 3-year warranty, you said?
3 years left.
Okay, so what is the
Brand new one with
how does the lawnmowers work, is that warranted at all, or?
2 years.
years for the lawnmower?
Yeah.
They're new.
So the mowers are brand new.
The mowers are a year old.
Okay,
Never used, but a model year old.
okay.
In the prices we got the prices through a company called Sourcewell. And Sourcewell goes out and bids with all the different manufacturers to get prices.
Right. Municipal price.
And that takes us out of the having to go out to bid for them because Sourcewell's already done it for us. So whatever numbers I get back, that will be the numbers. And it will comply with state regulations.
I think we send it to the board, see what we get back for numbers, and
I'll make sure I've got the numbers before the board meeting Thursday night.
okay, on to 6D. No, 6C. Appraisal for that property, Frank.
Well, I didn't get it done.
No,
I just,
here's the deal. I guess we don't need to be in a hurry for it right now, because it ain't going nowhere.
well,
But I guess, in my eyes, even if we aren't gonna sell it, let's know what we got put into by owning it.
I gotta find the right appraiser. I had one that wasn't the right appraiser, so
Okay,
I'm still working to it.
that was
You'll have to forgive me again.
the suggested one.
Yeah, that's the one.
I forgive you, Frank.
Okay. We're kicking the
So we're
can down the
still,
road,
you're
but
still looking for an appraiser.
the right one, yeah.
Yep, looking for correct appraiser.
Just as a side note on that lot now has been graded and seeded, and it's not a weed patch or a eyesore now, it's got grass growing on it. So it actually looks better than it has in.
Thank you.
Years.
Yes, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We worked hard on it.
Because it was a disaster.
And all that dirt came from those composted leaves out there we've been piling up for 99% of that dirt came from out there, so it
Good. Thank you,
worked out.
both of you. Lead service line replacement plan. And should I put slash galvanized?
Yeah, it's,
Because galvanized in there too. We call it the lead line replacement, but galvanized is also in there, so.
the village has done the first part of this work by identifying how many lead lines we have, or lead or galvanized lines we have, and where they're at. And now we have to come up with a plan to make the EPA happy,
Okay.
that 10 years from now we'll have them replaced or whatever the time is. But looking at it, I think we need to get some engineering help with it.
Did you put me down for a galvanized line?
I did not, do you have one?
Yeah,
I don't know if Buddy did or not, so.
okay, mine's galvanized coming in.
But I think unless you guys got, I don't know if you've got any expertise in the water line part of it, but I know I don't. And I wouldn't wanna hang that on Jerry and John to.
So,
We gotta have something that the EPA recognizes, and we're gonna have to go out
so
and find an engineering firm.
does it, in the EPA direction of this, do we have to have it engineered, or do we have to hire the correct plumber to do an abatement when they pull the lead lines out?
You gotta have a plan. This plan is it's a sheet of paper about this long, and it's got 15 things on it there, all the way from how you're gonna inform the public to, how you're gonna handle minority contracting when you go to replace these lines. It's a nightmare, and I think kind of when we talked that the engineer has done it for more than Shabbona. I mean, this is something that every municipality has to do. So most of that stuff is covered already. I mean, they just have to put in the right names, and I mean, most of that stuff is.
Is there grants for this?
For writing the plan.
No, well, all the above.
Eventually, yes, grants for replacement, but-
Maybe.
the plan has to be submitted to the IEPA. It was due first one was due last year, second one was due in April of this year. And then we got the letter for that one because there's no plan. We have to resubmit a plan, either the same plan or updated plan in April of 2026, and a final plan in April of 2027. And it includes mapping and all kinds of, I mean, John and I looked at it together, and we could do like the first 8 things on there, but after that, it's way above us.
All of ours have been pretty much identified. We have 99% of them identified if they're lead service lines. Most of them are up Illini, which, you know, you really don't want to touch those until you redo Illini, because that's water line in there. You don't want to put a new tap on an old water line. The only problem is if you ever uncover one, you have to replace it. EPA makes you, if there's any disturbance towards that water line at all, it has to be replaced. Even if it's not part, you know, if somebody reaches down and digs and hits the line and you have to dig down to fix it, you have to replace it, according to the EPA.
And this plan would also be something that would be submitted when applying for grants, because it's gonna be IEPA grants.
So I guess what I'm looking for is if anybody has an idea on engineer to use.
I can find out.
Good, that would be
Through
good,
the
yeah.
water department and water treatment plant, if they have any ideas.
So I guess the question's gonna be at the same time, if most of these are on Illini and the water line hasn't been updated, do you update it at the same time and fit that in with the grant?
Again, we're gonna have to have.
I'm just throwing it out there.
We're just gonna have to have engineering.
I'm not saying make a plan now, I'm just throwing that out there to see why dig it up twice.
That's,
And that's the whole thing. If you do Illini, you got sewer and water stacked on Illini, that'll all have to be replaced. So it'll have to be sewer, storm, and water on Illini. So it'll all have to be new. That whole project is a, big dollar project. But whether it's done 2 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road, I mean, it makes no sense to start digging up water lines and putting them in an old water line. Unless something happens. And they're not gonna make you do that unless it's disturbed. Until it gets, I think they're giving you almost 30 years, right?
Well, it says through
37
until
or,
47.
47.
However, municipalities with smaller amounts, they're asking them to come in with a more reasonable deadline. So you can't do a plan and say, we'll have it done by 2047. They're looking for more like a 10-year, 15-year, 20-year plan.
We need to start developing a plan, which I hope would include rebuilding Illini Street, but we're looking, I don't know,
No, I
probably
get
a
it.
$4 million project on Illini Street. And hopefully the engineering company that we would choose would be able to write that grant for us. Just, I guess it was more information, and if anybody knows of an engineering company that has done this work before, maybe that's who we need to interview. So nothing that has to be done this month, it's just information.
I'll start gathering, researching some information for you guys.
Good, thank you.
I have to take off, but thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Eric.
you. Yep.
I'll get back to you and you'll,
Okay.
on the cement.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay.
All right, number 7, the storage container. See, we got the storage container in out back.
We did. Just like you guys to take a look at it and just appreciate the work that John and Jerry had done. So that's the only reason I had that on here, so I didn't,
Yeah.
mainly so I don't forget.
Yep.
Did we put gravel and railroad ties and all that down?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got it sitting on lumber and we got gravel. We're gonna, do some work on the inside between the buildings yet, just to keep the vermin on, from underneath it. We're gonna try to seal up around the bottom so we don't need
Under the bottom
critters
because,
underneath there, yeah.
because the container is guaranteed to be wind and water tight. So I would guess the critters can't get in there unless we leave the door open.
All right, 8, Frank, you're gonna give us a culvert update?
Well, we got the farmer that owns the property out on the south side of town here, out by, towards the water treatment plant and south of the high
Hart.
school. Apparently, well, not apparently, there was a easement purchased from this farmer for the bicycle path.
Okay.
For the pathway?
For the pathway, correct. And in the easement agreement, it was put in there that we would take some dirt out, or add some dirt to the field, where years ago they put storm sewer through there and they brought clay up to the top. I don't know why it was put in this agreement, but it was. It's kinda like the agreement we had with the fire district. It was okay, but it really isn't
Wasn't
okay.
Yeah.
And at the same time, he told me about a culvert that's out on Preserve Road. It's plugged, he said it's plugged. Okay. So do we unplug the culvert? The guy said they would take the jetter out there and try to unplug it or whatever. Chuck Hart told me that he'd like a 40-foot culvert put in there. There's a 20-foot culvert in there now. And I don't know that I don't think we want to put a 40-foot culvert in there. So I did talk to Gene Larson about culverts, because I know nothing about culverts. He said they're really expensive. And if it was on his road, he'd just take the culvert out of there and gravel it. So again, I'm talking amongst yourselves, or Tim's got some ideas, but, or you guys.
Will that settle the agreement of whatever was agreed upon before, or?
The culvert isn't in the agreement. So if we could talk to him and take the culvert out of there and gravel it and just say we're done with the agreement, get him to agree to be okay with it. I mean, this was done Jerry, help me out. 10, 12 years ago?
25 years. I know, it's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
It's been way over 15 years.
And how long does he own the property?
Well, he just bought it 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
And we got into this with the driveway down by Jeff's house,
Why does he want it 40? So he can
because his
Get equipment
combine's,
in?
his combine's bigger than 20 feet wide. That's, he needs to get in there.
Okay.
I understand why he wants it, but
So here's the deal, can we pull the culvert, put 40 foot wide of gravel to fill the culvert so he can drive in there and call it good?
What Gene claims. That's what Gene said he would do, was his culvert, you know, or his field entrance.
And if it's not a drain issue, then I don't see why.
Yeah, does anybody, you guys see an issue with drainage if it got filled?
It only drains from about the end of the sewer plant, you know, up on the top of the hill to that substation. That's really all the rest of it runs to the east. The fall goes to the east, the rest of that is, you know, so you're only talking 300 feet maybe.
So I guess when he goes in the combine the field, knock on the combine and say,
well, we can't replace any dirt till he gets the crop off, so.
no, but what I'm saying is, at the same time, hey, we wanna yank the culvert, cause we know it's plugged. We're gonna put 40 foot wide entrance here in
For you to
gravel
get in and out.
and call it good.
Okay,
Are you good with that? You know what I'm saying?
okay, so that's what you guys would bring to the board.
Yeah, I'm gonna suggest that to the board because why are we gonna worry about a culvert that's gonna keep plugging because it has no drainage? Anyway,
As far as the dirt goes, if you look after it's been plowed, you can barely see the gray in the top anymore. And Bud and I have gone a couple times and said, hey, we're ready to put dirt up. No, let's hold off. Oh, let's hold off. So he's held us off a couple times when Buddy was still around, you know. And so we've been meaning to do it, but he said, let's wait, or, you know, he already had fertilizer on, or somebody didn't want to work it up again, or whatever, so.
okay.
I'd like to get it closed out. I'd like to get the agreement on the lease closed out so we don't have.
Yeah,
It's another one of those things, problems that keep on giving us problems, so I'd like to get it gone. So you'll bring that to the board?
I'll bring that up, yeah. And then, the update on Lions Park.
Okay, and we voted on it. I just wanted to bring it back to your attention that Tyler Kramer is gonna replace that cement. He talked to Josh and Callan, because they had some reservations about replacing the cement, which
Yeah,
was good, so.
Callan was talking about, you were gonna talk to him about, see if you could patch that,
So
no?
I think we're good to go there, right? You-
Yeah, yeah, I mean, based on what he said, the concrete was poured without any gravel or anything.
Oh.
And so, if we patch it, then it's very likely to just break again.
Go back and do the same thing again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and then I did purchase the rock wall climbing device for that my two experts decided was a good, and kid, you gotta forgive me, I overspent the grant by about $136.
Oh, God.
So
Frank.
Really?
maybe I'll have to pay for it or whatever, but, I did overspend the grant, so.
Okay, so we need to vote on that, bring it up for the concrete.
We've already done that.
Oh,
I'm just-
did we approve
Yeah,
it?
I'm just kind of updating.
Oh,
you on
okay,
it.
all right.
Yeah, the playground equipment, you didn't have prices on that yet, but I know
Yeah.
we did on the
Right,
concrete.
and I did go ahead and purchase the playground equipment. That way, with this grant, when we get the cement poured, we don't get the playground equipment until the end of November. So if you wanna go down to Lions Park and look, John and Jerry have went down there and they've got it painted out where it goes. So, just an update for you.
Okay. And then the Shabbona Pathway Grant.
Another thing that's just for your information. This week, I got an email from our state senator, Lee Ariando, something like that. And he told me, he says, you got a $500,000 grant. I said, great. I'm new here, I don't know what we put in for. So I think Lee got a little bit out over his skis. What it is, it's $260,000 grant to Shabbona Township for the bike path. I have some questions about that because Shabbona Township said they didn't want anything to do with it anymore.
Yeah, didn't we have like a $1.3 million grant at one point? With the bike path thing?
It's, help me, 400
$440,000 is the grant, the pathway was awarded in 2021.
No.
That this is now, the 260,000 would be the 20% match that needed to be raised to move forwards.
Is that gonna move forward anytime soon, or?
Well, I don't know, and again, I'm just giving you the information as much as I got, or you can help me here, but the grant was for $440,000, so they had to come up with a match of about $250,000. And so this grant covers the match, so the state government's putting the match in for us, I guess, is the way I see it. But it's not us, the grant is to the township.
So the greater $440,000 one, is that grant also through the township?
Correct. It's either directly through the pathway or it's through the township. It is not through the village.
And the township wants nothing to do with it.
They voted in one of their meetings recently to, well, maybe it wasn't so recently, to have the village administer the grant in the pathway, because they wanted out of the pathway business. So I don't know how it's going, I'm just telling you that it's out there.
Okay, but how's that work if it's written to the township, not the
Correct.
village?
We don't know.
Is the township aware that they got the grant?
Just today, I called the township commissioner and I said, hey, I said, you got a $260,000 grant. He says, we voted to get out of the pathway business.
Yeah, but it's free money, so.
There's never any free money, I'll tell you that.
No such thing.
You had mentioned.
To them it is.
You mentioned the easement earlier. So I know there was something to do with down towards Preserve and Shabbona Road. That track was holding it up. What's the deal with that? Is that been taken care of? or-
Well, that goes back to the culvert issue that I was talking about.
Right,
There was an easement paid for by the village and then reimbursed to the village from the pathway committee for $20,000 for a 20-foot easement to go from the edge of the high school property to Preserve Road.
right.
So I'm in a quandary as to who owns the easement. The village wrote the check for the easement, and the bike path committee paid us back, I guess.
Correct.
So
Agreement.
I don't know
So
if
is
we,
there a chance the township owns the easement? Is that what you're trying to say?
well, we wrote the check for it, so
Right.
it's another one of those gifts we got from the previous administration that
Yeah.
keeps on giving. So I'm just trying to fill you guys in
Yeah.
on what we got going on.
Fair enough.
There's nothing to bring to the board, or I'll bring what I know to the board. I meet with the state senator on Tuesday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I would love one of you guys to come with me.
I'll come, Tony.
I gotta work.
I need a board member, is what I need. And if you'd like to be there, you can be there, but not as a board member. I need a board member.
Where's the meeting
It- the village office. But I would like
Probably.
one of the board members to,
Is this next Thursday?
pardon me?
Tuesday,
Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
3 PM.
No, I can't do it. If it was Thursday, I could do it.
I can do it, Frank.
Okay, I got a volunteer, that's all I need. Thank you, Jim.
Who's chairing the pathway committee now?
Pardon me?
Who's chairing the pathway committee now?
The president is Josh Clark.
Okay.
And I have a meeting with Josh Clark
Tomorrow.
tomorrow. Because the past president of the Park Pathway Committee resigned. And Jim Johnson was the representative on the pathway from the township. And Jim was steering all this stuff. And I don't know if you guys know about the health issues that Jim's had, but Jim's had some health issues. And he's not on the township board anymore. He was the chairman. He didn't run for re-election, and Grant Bend is now the chairman. And I called Grant and told him about Grant. Well, that's neat. Grant, I told about the grant, and I said, we gotta meet. But again, it's harvest time and Grant Farms, and so I don't know when we're gonna meet, but I am gonna meet with Josh tomorrow to try to hammer some of this out. And if there's any one of you guys, board members, that could come tomorrow, that would be great too.
What time tomorrow?
1 o'clock?
1 PM.
One-ish.
One-ish?
I'm not sure what the ish is, but
Good meeting, he's 15 minutes behind.
Yeah, I can, is this at the village office?
Like a doctor.
Yes.
For one, so.
Yeah, I can
See
see.
you at 2:15.
either one of you guys, which one?
I'm gonna be out of town.
I'm sure you are. Thanks.
I can do it.
Calvin will help me, so
Alright,
that's what I got.
so, number 11, before I move to adjourn, Frank wanted to invite everybody out to look at the equipment and see what's out there, if anybody's interested. And I'll move to adjourn.
One more bit of information. A week ago, we had the pumps pulled at the lift station, checked. Everything looks good out there. So they hadn't been pulled in a while. We had a company from Bettendorf, Iowa, Mississippi pump pulling. We Gary and I kind of learned on, we'd never seen one pulled before, so we got a little bit of education and, but they say everything looks good, so we're good shape out there.
Good
Seems
deal.
like our sewer system is up and running and in good shape.
Good deal. I like to hear that,
I do too.
especially for all the grief we got.
Yes.
Sit here and smile now. Alright, move to adjourn. Anybody
For
want
people that haven't heard yet, the Cubs did win, so
Cubs win.
I got a message on me.
So the tour guys can take you around and show you the equipment, so.
Okay. Frank, I gotta talk to you.